Hey guys, what's up? It's Angie here, and I'm just like trying to find my groove with some kind of indoor experience here for lives, but I don't know. Anyway, this is not working. I'm gonna have to try something else. Gotta get one of those selfie lights or something. But anyways, looking like a lobster on this one. It's all good. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about how weight loss, let's face it, can be a pain in the ass. So I had posted a post earlier today. I really hope that this like totally went live. Okay, woohoo! Somebody came on. But yeah, so I posted a post earlier today, and I was talking about how that one of the most important things we can do for ourselves is not just get clear on our why, but also when we are looking at the why for losing weight, like when we're looking at why we want to lose weight, it's important also in the same exercise in the same time that we're looking at why we want to lose weight. It's important to also look at the things the challenges, the potential pains and obstacles that we may have to face in order to pursue those things that are important to us, right? The things that matter to us, the dreams and goals and aspirations that we have for our weight loss journey, right? The transformation we want to make in our lives. And one of the biggest things that helped me was getting that clear in my head was that I had to look at also the challenges and the pains. And so in making that post, I was like, I had to go through, this, just so that I could accomplish my weight loss goal. And it was a conscious choice. It was something that I said, yes, I'm going to sign up and do this. Like, I will do this. That said, I didn't want to leave that post like, you're going to have to go through pain. It's going to be a challenge. Like, you're going to have to deal with this and this and this, but you got to be willing to go through it. I'm so not. Like, I don't come from that tone of voice, right? I'm not like this, type that's like, I wasn't even that way with myself. Like, you gotta face it, and you gotta face your fears, and you gotta this, and you gotta that, and just deal with it. Like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm sorry. So that is what I wanted to talk about, because I didn't want to leave that post off in this tone of, well, there's a bunch of shit you're gonna have to deal with if you want to lose weight. And, you better just be willing to, suck it up and deal with it. So that is not what I did. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you to do that. That's not what I did. Okay. So how is it not what I did? Because what else do you do? Well, what I figured out, what I realized, and learned was a different way to relate to the pain. Okay, and this ultimately was my freedom. This ultimately was where I broke free from the bondage of being stuck dealing with, right? Because that's what I would do. And then every single time I started a diet, every single time I got all revved up and was like, I'm doing this, I bought all my groceries, this is it, no more, I'm not struggling anymore. Already that behavior is where I was failing from the beginning. So I would come at it like that, all revved up, and I'm not going to fail this time, and I'm going to power through, and I'm going to win, and I'm going to beat this. Beat what? Beat me always falling off, or beat me falling off the wagon, or giving in to cravings, or this or that. So I was already up with a struggle, and my fists clenched, and then 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, without fail, I would fail. I would fall off the wagon. Again and again and again. So what changed? What changed is this. I learned how to relate to my internal stuff, right? So thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations, and urges, that lingering feeling on your tongue that's constantly asking you to eat something, or when you're eating Chex Mix that's got peanut butter and frosted with peanut butter and stuff, and you can't stop putting your hand in the bag and putting another one in your mouth and another one and another one. So what do you do with that stuff? What do you do with it? Do you just deal with it, with feeling that feeling? You're just feeling that, and you're like, I don't want to feel this. That's where we fail, is when we struggle with what we're feeling. We struggle with those uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. That's where the trouble is, and that's what causes you to fall off every single time. at least in my book. At least in my book. And so when you can learn to relate differently to those things, to those experiences, you can free yourself from that pattern. Free yourself from being stuck, being trapped. Like for me, I would always describe it like there was this brick wall between me and being able to succeed and losing weight, right? It was like, it just felt like a brick wall. It was like, I try and then no, try and no, try and no, and no, every single time, no go. You're not doing it. You're not going to lose. You're not going to see the scale go down. You're not going to be in a smaller pant size. You're going to, no, 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 every single time. Every single time I tried. But it was because of that. It was because, hi Kelly, you want to say hi? Here. Oh, I love my pup so much. Oh. Say hi, Kelly. But yeah, but so it was that struggle that I was having with myself and my inner experiences. I didn't want to feel like that, which is what 99.9% of like dieting advice out there is. Distract yourself, go for a walk, go read a book, go listen to music, go do some yoga, like distract yourself from the pain. And that is the problem, is that we think that we need to distract ourselves from that pain and not experience it. Well, guess what? That pain is going nowhere. It's going nowhere. Sure, you can do things to help your body to like naturally, which is what I do, to naturally not have such intense cravings, not have such intense hunger, and to you know, do things like yoga, breathing exercises, exercise, which I don't recommend doing exercise to lose weight. I think you'll drive yourself insane. But exercise for relieving stress, sleeping better, you know, strengthening your body, right? Getting more toned and getting stronger inside of your body so that you can feel stronger, right? So you'll feel stronger, healthier, less stressed. You'll be sleeping better. Sleeping better will help you make better choices, and so on. So you can do things to help reduce all of that kind of noise that's going on inside that helps you naturally reduce it, right? Just naturally to reduce it and to just have a greater sense of well-being, right? But not to get rid of those things. They will always be present. That was another thing that just blew my mind when I had that realization. I was like, man, no matter how much I try to get rid of this pain, to make it not exist, right? So that I can get on with doing the things that are really important to me, right? So I can get on with making it past 7 days on a diet plan so I can lose the freaking weight, you know? Like, it was like, if I can just make this stuff disappear somehow, if I can do enough yoga, if I can, you know, and like I'm saying, it's good to do those things for having a greater sense of well-being and making better choices and just overall a healthier you, so that you're not having to have your body all out of balance and out of whack, begging you for all of these kinds of things, you know, that are causing you so much pain. You can reduce the noise, right? And make it easier for yourself to stick to your weight loss plan and meet your weight loss goals. But they will still be there, right? But if you can get yourself into a position where it's okay that they're there and you can carry them with you along your weight loss journey, you can have that discomfort or that pain. And like I said, you've done the things that will naturally help you to reduce the noise of those things. So it's not so intense, like so unnaturally intense. Because I've been there. I've been there with like wanting to eat all of the leftover cupcakes that after my kids' birthdays. Not gonna lie, I would want to, and I would at times sit and eat as many until I got sick, right? So I know what that's like, to feel like completely out of control with your cravings and hunger, right? My sister, when I was growing up, she'll tell you herself, like, she was called the mouse and all this stuff. Like, she ate like a mouse and didn't want to eat and like all this stuff, and I was the one that was told, like, stop eating so much, you know, don't take seconds, like, don't get into the fridge, don't this, don't do. It was like, that was my childhood, right? So I know about cravings and hunger and the effects of like carbohydrates, like too much carbohydrates in my diet, too many carbohydrates in my diet, and too much excess sugar, which carbs just turn to sugar, so it's all sugar. It's just like too much sugar in my blood just makes my body freak out. So I know about cravings and hunger. Like, yeah. So I know about how to help myself reduce the noise of those things in my body by doing things like eating a low carbohydrate diet, cleansing and detoxing my system, appetite suppressants, natural organic appetite suppressants, all of those kinds of things, reducing stress by exercising regularly, getting better sleep, all that kind of stuff, right? All of this so that I can have a better quality of life, right? And be the person that I want to be and show up the way I want to show up in this world. And so, so how do we do that though? Like, how do you relate to that differently? First, by reducing the noise, right? Reducing the noise naturally through your diet and through natural, organic, herbal things that can help you. And no, I'm not talking about weed, although that might help, but but things like tea and, you know, like other herbs and things that you can take that will help to reduce the noise of all of that nasty stuff that goes on that like has us freaking out because we need to eat a piece of chocolate or, you know, whatever it is. So, yeah. How do we do that though besides that, right? Once that's done, what do you do with what's left that's kind of like there and you just don't necessarily want to be feeling that and you're, you know, like stressed out and God, I, you know, just forget about this whole weight loss thing because I'm too freaking stressed and I don't want to deal with this right now. What do you do with that? Okay, those kinds of thoughts and emotions and frustration and, you know, irritation that's like running through your blood. I don't know. I'm not gonna go too far and say like all women are feeling like that, but I know as a woman that I get that stuff, like the irritability and stuff. So it's like running through your blood. It might be because I have 2 grandpas in my house now. Like there's 2 for the next 10 days. So I'm not gonna get into that. We're gonna keep on subject here. So, oh my goodness, it's so red indoors. Like my face is so red. I don't know if it looks red to you guys, but it's super red to me looking at the camera. But anyways, so how do you help yourself out with that? And what I learned, and I learned this through, it's a newer form of psychotherapy. It's acceptance and commitment therapy. You guys can read books on it by Stephen Hayes and Russ Harris. Stephen Hayes has a really great book called Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life. And that was the most profound thing that I'd ever come across when I came across that. Actually, I came across it for helping myself and Dave as well. He was looking into it for healing anxiety because he was working in a call center at the time and was like, I need to take care of this anxiety, high blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. And so he had looked into it for that. I started looking into it for depression. And then I was like, this could work for weight loss. And I looked online. I was like, who's talking about this with weight loss? There was like 1 blog post. So I was like, damn, like I need to like figure this out. So I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, if it works for depression and anxiety, it can work for weight loss, right? Because I was feeling like what they were saying about this was a match to what I was experiencing with my weight loss or trying to lose weight. And the pain that used to come up, or not used to, but the pain that comes with weight loss, right? I was like, damn, like these 2 could go together. I can make this work for this. And sure enough, I started applying the principles. And so what it is, simply put, is, you know, just not struggling with or trying to get rid of or change, which kind of goes opposite to everything we hear out there. Everything is about avoiding or getting rid of or changing, or, you know, it's like, you can't have this thought. You can't be thinking these thoughts. You can't be feeling these feelings. It's not okay to feel or think these thoughts. You know, you have to get rid of it. So what happens though when you try to get rid of a thought? All you can think about is that thought that you're trying to get rid of, right? It's like all that happens. Like you struggle, and if you don't want a feeling, what happens? You feel worse. It gets bigger, heavier, right? And so the idea is to embrace the fact that you are having these thoughts, you're having these emotions, you're having these sensations in your body, and to embrace that fact and to become aware of those things. And I really liked all of this because I already had a background with like being a yoga teacher and In yoga, there's a lot of, practices with observing yourself, right? Like, so getting into observer mode, so being the fly on the wall, that kind of stuff, and just watching the inner experiences that you're having, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical, right? And so this went in line with that. Actually, acceptance and commitment therapy is a blend of Western and Eastern psychology and healing. So mental and emotional healing. And so the whole concept of stepping back and witnessing and watching what was going on inside of me, knowing that I am not my thoughts, I am not my emotions, and I am not my bodily sensations, right? So if I'm having a craving, I am having a craving. It is happening inside of me, but I am not the craving. Like, I am not, it's not me that's having a craving. It's my body is experiencing a craving, right? And at first that seems like, okay, like now I have to like watch everything going on in my body. No, you don't have to like constantly be vigilant and constantly be micromanaging. And that's like another thing that was just driving me nuts with all this like self-help stuff. Like, you're just like always micromanaging every little thought and every little emotion, and I can't think this and I can't feel that and I better do this to escape that. It's like, and it's not all bad, don't get me wrong, it's not all bad. Like, it is beneficial, like positive thinking and all that kind of stuff. You do have to take time to like step aside and be like, all right, and again, this falls right into what I'm saying though. Like, you might be having negative thoughts, but it's up to you to make a choice to have positive thoughts and to like actively choose positive thinking, actively choose to have a positive attitude or optimistic attitude towards what's happening in a situation. But this is the same thing. You're making a conscious choice to not just let those thoughts and emotions and bodily sensations just completely overrun you, right? It's like they give a great example in acceptance and commitment therapy of being the bus driver. And on the bus, you have all these like monsters, and they're really loud, and they seem extremely scary, and they're like all in your face. But usually what we do is like freak out and do whatever they say, because they're screaming and yelling, right? Like, our cravings and hunger and everything seems so scary. Like, what's going to happen if I don't give into this craving? What's going to happen if I don't give into, or this thought that I can't do it, or this thought that maybe I'll offend somebody if I say that I can't eat what they cook for me, or something like that. It's always around like these fears and anxieties. And it is like these loud monsters inside ourselves. And it's like, we can learn, and I learned that I can actually not do anything with those thoughts and emotions or bodily sensations. I can just like witness them there, and they will get really loud, and then they'll quiet down, and they come and go like waves, right? So I learned that, and I learned over time, after repeatedly practicing it, I learned, and it became less and less scary when they would come up. And I would sit there and like feel it and be like, all right, I'm having a craving, or I'm having a thought that I can't do this right now. It's just a thought. It's not a fact, or like necessarily like written in stone that I can't handle this right now. It's just a thought that, floated into my mind. Like, it just drifted in. I can't handle this right now. Okay, thanks for that thought. And then like with my hands and feet and my mouth, do what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's like a lot like explaining it at first, but like when you practice it, like for a week, you practice it, it becomes more of like a rhythm and a flow, and you start to see how strong you really are, and how how these things inside of you can't harm you. They don't have to control you, and you don't have to control them. You just have to acknowledge them for what they are. Just a thought, just an emotion, and just a sensation in your body. It's like when your foot is asleep. You notice that it's asleep. You notice that it's tingling, right? You're just noticing that. You're not like, my foot is like, I'm gonna die or something. And it's like your mind might tell you that. It's like, but you know that your foot is just tingling. You're just experiencing that sensation in your body. Cravings are the same, thoughts are the same, emotions are the same. So, that's kind of like where I wanted to like kind of not leave you guys off thinking I'm like, just deal with it, like you need to be strong and just push through and persevere and deal with this stuff, No, you don't have to necessarily deal with it. You can relate to it, choose to, consciously choose to relate to it in a different and new way that will allow you to be free, right? That's the biggest gift that I found from this, was the freedom. I was like, I would like ride through a craving. Like I remember in Mexico, I was like sitting there watching, because Dave still hadn't gotten on board with me, and he's like eating tacos in front of me, and I was eating the soup, because you can get soup or tacos. And I was like eating the soup, and I was really feeling sorry for myself. I was like having all these thoughts and emotions and woe me moments, you know, and because they look so happy, you know, eating their delicious tacos, and I was like, and I'd like have tears coming up in my eyes, but the whole time I'm like just watching all of this unfolding inside myself, and I was like holding fast to what's important to me. I was like, eat the soup, just eat it. So I was eating it, and I was like lovingly and compassionately watching what was going on inside of me. And then it faded, and I was done eating, and we were leaving, and I was like, wow, just like that, I stuck to my diet, just like that. And it was about continuing to repeat that over and over, and the more I did it, the easier it got. And you know, there's times when it gets easier and harder, but it's just about the conscious awareness and conscious, you know, choices, right? Like actually taking time to stop and correct myself if I start drifting and start getting caught up in the thoughts and emotions and bodily sensations. So, and again, as a woman, that goes up and down every month. So you get really intense cravings, right? Of course, mine aren't as bad as they were before because of the low carb diet and the appetite suppressants that I you know, take daily. But it still happens. And so those are times when it's like I really have to like stop and pause and, you know, get centered and not let my thoughts and emotions and bodily sensations or urges like get the most of me. So and I don't have to struggle, right? There's no struggle, there's no war that can't be won. Like there's no like being in a battle or a war that cannot be won. It cannot be won. You cannot permanently delete negativity from yourself or uncomfortable bodily sensations. You cannot permanently delete them from yourself. It's a part of you, and part of this practice and this these teachings is acknowledging that fact that it's not bad to have those things. The negativity or the negative thoughts, pessimistic thoughts are there for a purpose, right? Our brains are designed to protect us, so they're doing that job. If you're feeling negativity or feeling bad about something, it's telling you something. You should listen, right? You should stop and pause and listen. Why am I feeling this way? But not necessarily to, you know, sit there and like dig so deep that you drive yourself nuts and drive yourself into depression and misery trying to solve it, right? It's just bringing an awareness to what's going on. Where is my life headed? Is that why I'm experiencing this? And moving yourself back on course, or in the direction of, if you're not already, move yourself towards the direction that will make you the most satisfied and the most fulfilled and happy in your life, right? And not necessarily happy. I'm like digging into everything. It's like Russ Harris has a book on the happiness trap. And that is like talking about how more of that, like where we get stuck thinking that we can't feel any kind of negativity, right? That it's just wrong to feel negative. But we should be more in tune with and aware of any kind of negativity that's going on in us, not to weed it out or get rid of it, but to bring awareness and consciousness to what's going on inside of ourselves and the course that our lives are headed, right? Because usually if we're not headed where we want to go, that's when we start feeling that you know, dis-ease inside of our bodies. So anyway, long one today, but really, really important. Did not want to leave that post hanging with a deal with it type of energy around it, because that's not at all what I did or do and don't recommend. So I think weight loss has to come with a lot of love and compassion towards yourself. And even those negative thoughts, emotions, and feelings in your body that you deem as like the devil and I don't want anything to do with it, please stay away from me so I can get on with my life, they're actually there for a purpose and they're showing you something. And you don't have to get rid of them in order to get on with what's important to you. And you don't have to just deal with them or put up with them. You can relate to them differently, understand them, and embrace their presence and be willing to carry them with you as you do what's important to you. So that's kind of just like a short explanation here of you know, what really helped me to be able to break free and really feel like I could have some real like momentum and movement with my weight loss. But yeah, check out those books, Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life. That's Stephen Hayes. And then Russ Harris has, yeah, The Happiness Trap. Like, they have a whole bunch of books now. And then there's another one called The Diet Trap, which is awesome, but I just kind of disagree with the end. They kind of contradicted themselves. It was like they're telling you one thing in the beginning, and then at the end it was like, oh, I thought we were talking about not thinking like that. So, or like the beginning was contradicting the end. It was like they're telling you not to diet, and at the end they're telling you how to follow this diet plan. I was like, yeah, how about just tell them it's okay to follow a diet plan. It's okay to diet. I won't open up that one right now. I might lose some friends on that one. Like, learning not to be afraid of dieting. I might make that my next video. I might lose a bunch of friends. But actually, yeah, that was a big one for me, but maybe I'll save that for the next video. But you guys have an awesome one, evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next video. You guys have an awesome one. Hit me up in Messenger if you'd like to learn more about my 5-day 5 pounds down challenge. I've got a cool little starter kit that I've got right now where I can ship you guys out a 7-day supply of my my detox tea that we use in conjunction with my diet plan to help you drop the first 5 pounds in 5 days. And I've made it super, super affordable. So you get that with my private group and my diet plan, menu plan, and recipes to go with it for the 5 days, and just some, you know, just killer stuff. So things I put my heart and soul into, and it's everything that I have used to help me be where I am today, from 235 pounds down to 155. So, you know, and I'm still going. My journey isn't over, you know, but what I teach you there that helped me to shed that much weight so far and counting is what, you know, is what I'm using, right? So I'm in it with you, I'm in the trenches, and we're in this together. So you guys hit me up in Messenger if you want to chat privately, you know, or hit me up here in the comments. Let me know if you'd like to learn more about that, and I'd be glad to help you guys out. So you guys have an awesome one, and I'll talk to you next time. Okay, bye for now.